Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org. Consequence and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks for making your way here, for checking out the episode. You know how this works. If you like what you see, what you hear, hit that subscribe button. I put out new interviews just like this one every single week. So it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists. You can also find me over in the audio side of things, Podcast Land, Spotify, Apple Podcast. NPR, WFPK.org, Consequence, or of course, right here on YouTube for the video versions. Anywhere you get your podcast from, you can subscribe to Kyle Meredith with. That's me, Kyle Meredith. Today, going to be talking with Audrey Nuna, singer, rapper, songwriter. She released a record just last year called Trench, and she was out on her very first American headlining tour and an international tour when this other project that she had recorded for the year before called K-Pop Demon Hunters became the biggest thing in the world. And I get to talk with Audrey all about that. What was going on in her life before it happened, how she got the gig, what those songs mean to her now being part of this group. She has sort of a dual life with now Huntress as well as her solo career. In fact, we talk a lot about what's to come, the album that she's working on. She's probably not an independent artist, although she was for a second. Some hints in there about that. And just what's going on in her head. We're going to talk simulation theory as well, because why wouldn't we? So let's go ahead and jump into this as we talk K-pop Demon Hunters, as well as every other bit of her career. It's Kyle Meredith with Audrey Nuna.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm kind of hungry, but I'm good.
I like the actual detail of that. I really do appreciate that that was more than the usual just I'm good.
Oh yeah. How are you?
I'm well. I'm recently fed, so I'm not in the same boat as you. I
Dang, making me jealous.
just had leftover chili. It was very exciting.
Ooh. Usually the leftovers is better than the regular because it's kind of like marinates more.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, well, I don't know. I apologize about your hunger right now. I hope this day's and all the promo is not going to destroy your chance to eat.
I really appreciate that sympathy.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Minutes of sympathy. Congratulations on an incredible year
Thank you.
and being able to watch you do all this stuff. Like, so, right, you release Trench and you're out promoting it. And by the way, fantastic record.
Thank you.
You go out promoting it, you do your first, what, headlining American tour, you do an international tour, and then a little movie takes over with K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Like, that's a crazy story, right?
Oh yeah. This has been the craziest year of my life. I'm just like, who wrote this script? This is insane. This is insane. Yeah, I mean, I remember the song had gone number one on Global 200 the last day of my Trench international tour, and that just felt like very whoa. Like just the
Mm.
fact that it was on the same day and everything has felt like really surprising, but at the same time very weirdly like predestined, and I'm just really enjoying the ride.
Yeah. So what does that mean for Trench? I mean, is your mind still there? Are you still technically promoting that, or does this give you means to move on?
I mean, I think I'll be promoting Trench forever, honestly. Like any album that I make, I would love to continue sharing it and promoting it and getting people to hear it. And I'm doing some like a festival performance at the end of the year that's kind of still centered on Trench. I will say that this experience has definitely given like my life a very new color palette in the last, months. And I will say I'm very just re-energized with a lot of just ideas for new music, working on the next album, really inspired, feeling creative. Um, so I definitely think, I'm evolving and changing every single day, but all the projects I've done will always, I think, be a part of the ecosystem. Um, but yeah.
Yeah. What is because I don't, like I should back up. So with K-pop Demon Hunters, like how did you get the gig? What part of the timeline does this come in?
Nah, I got the gig probably around May or June of like a year before, I think a year before the project came out.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was serendipitous. I did an audition. I kind of was just asked to do it. And apparently, looking back now, I realized that there was people who recommended me for this project, EJ included, who I've known since, I was acquainted with when I was 15 years old, and she kind of had followed my career, I think, over the internet. And then this guy, Danny Chung, who also voices Baby Saja, who has known me since I was 20 and was a friend of a friend of a friend of my first manager. So just these really weird kind of seemingly peripheral connections that I guess were just like rumbling under the surface, and then they just asked me to do the movie and I was like, sure, sounds fun. I'm down.
But
And
there's
that
like
was
no
about it.
guarantee that anything's going to happen from that, right? Like was there an inkling of the scope that this could get to from the beginnings? I know there's always hope, sure.
No, honestly, for me, it was just really genuinely on some like, I like animation. I love what this movie stands for. I love that it's a Korean cast. I love that it's a Korean director. I'm super down to be a part of it. And that was really it. It was like the most earnest thing. And that's why this story is so funny.
That it's happened, like, right, because you can't, like, I guess that's it. You hear people say that you can't predict these things, you
No,
know,
no,
like we
not
all
to be.
create and you hope it takes off, but you don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna do well. I really thought I was like, wow, so many like cool, creative people are gonna love this movie. But to think like, oh no, like families in India and grandmas in Czechoslovakia are gonna know this film is like, oh, okay, that's different than I expected.
But like that's because when it's always easier in hindsight to look back on because K-pop breaks out of just that, section of the world, like, certain parts of America starts embracing it. You can go, I mean, geez, I'm in the middle of Kentucky. Jack Harlow's town. I'm in Louisville. So I
I was
know the guy.
gonna say hometown of Jack Harlow.
Right.
Let's go. We have a song together.
I know Jack. Well, I met Jack. I can't say I know him, but I was one of his first interviews. I'll say that.
That's dope. He's
Um, but like even here in the middle of Kentucky, if a K-pop band comes to town, it's a line around the block or something like that. So you start seeing that. But just that, that world, Korean arts starts making it past, you know, the niche groups, and
hmm
suddenly it's mainstream.
hmm
Like I don't know what you can say about I don't know what there is to say about that, but watching it over the last few years do that has been really interesting to see.
Yeah, I think you're right that in hindsight, it's like so easy to kind of be like, oh, that makes sense. Because I went to a Big Bang concert when I was like 12 and I fainted because that was sold out at Prudential Center, on like a Sunday night. And now thinking about it, that was 10 plus years ago. So it kind of makes sense, that we've reached this boiling point. I just didn't know that I would be a part of because I'm Korean American, and as much as K-pop has been so formative to me and who I am, at the same time I'm also like an alternative R&B, alternative hip hop,
Right.
alt pop artist, and I was just like, I'm so down to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So I think the catch is that like just the way that it's happened, because this project is such a hybrid, I think, of culture. It
Mhm.
is obviously K-pop, but it's also at its core very Korean American, Korean Canadian, like I think the hybrid is really the true evolution of it that kind of pushed it over the edge from
Because
my
when
perspective.
everybody can see themselves in it, that's when you win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What does it mean for these songs to now be a part of your world? Like these aren't songs that you created in your bedroom. These are songs for this whole project. Like, does that give you a different relationship with them than some of your own? Because they are yours now as well, I guess is what I'm trying to say there.
I think it is a slightly different relationship just because for my project, I'm really involved on all levels. I write all my songs. are involved in production choices and videos and creative direction and mix choices. And like, I think it's really interesting and beautiful new type of relationship to have with songs where you truly are the recording artist. Your only job was to deliver the character. And I'm having fun. I'm embracing it because I think that there's something really nostalgic about that too. Like kind of just delivering the lines and being the best at delivering the lines. It's kind of really reinvigorated my relationship with recording as well.
How
And has
so?
just this idea that, I think sometimes when you're involved in so many different things and your hands are in so many different parts of the process, you kind of can lose sight of the fact that like recording is an art in itself.
Mm.
And I think also in the age of just like hyper nonchalance and like also a lot of auto tune and a lot of like aesthetic based music, you forget that at the end of the day, like your job is to bring humanness to songs.
Mhm.
And I think that's like a really powerful, humbling thought. It's just like, yeah, on this one, your job is to just like bring a character to life. Um, it was like almost taking the ego out of everything for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
And that was like much needed,
Yeah.
honestly, for me at where I was in my life. That's exactly what I needed.
Yeah. It's interesting. I guess I've noticed that about you talking about the humanness. That's what I'm getting at,
Yeah.
and as you're saying this time when it can be very easy for things made by real people to not sound like they're made by real people.
Right.
Even on the upper thing, when Taylor released her new record with the Showgirl, like I noticed that so much of that music felt like real music again. That's not, it's all real music. That was a horrible thing.
I know
Uh,
what
th-
you mean,
but
though.
it felt very human in the way that even she hadn't before. The new Florence and the Machine record is coming out, and there's so much like the tempos are slightly off every now and then. It's not perfect,
That's
and I
cool.
find that starts to feel right again.
Mm,
Not that I can't enjoy everything else too. That's not what I'm saying, but there is something extra about that, I guess. I'm agreeing with you.
yeah, we're so numb, I think we're like just thinking about where we are in human evolution. I mean, like the age of AI, I think we're all questioning like what is real and what is humanity. And I think that whether we know it consciously or not, we're all like real, it's beyond itching. It's not itching. It's like we're all thirsting, craving, dying for some sense of like, I'm a human, you're a human. Okay, we're humans. Okay, great, we're humans. Like I think we're all craving that whether we realize it or not. And there's something so earnest about even Golden, it's a song about reaching for something. It's a song about trying. And like, we're so, as people, we're like so over trying and shit. And like, I just feel like it just taps into something very human.
Yeah. But as an artist, though, when you're creating on your own, when you're doing an album, like because of the tools that we're talking about that are available to us now, it's so easy to want to fix imperfections. And then those imperfections are instantly gone. And
Mhm.
everything has become very perfect. Everything is on the beat, every note is perfect when they come out of our voice, or something like that. Like I don't know for you and what you got going forward, but like how do you find the balance? How do you restrain from making everything just a little bit too perfect?
Mm. Yeah, I think this is something that really is honestly very central to this next project that I'm currently working on. Is it is asking that question of like what makes something human. And with that being said, for me it's been really interesting. I love this word restraint because for me it's been really interesting to strip back tools. And also I'm really inspired by like Dieter Rams, who's like a really cool industrial designer from the 70s, and he has these like design philosophies. And I think this idea of less is more, in a sense. I think I've really gravitated towards that. Um, just less tools, like less. Something that I've been kind of thinking about is I want to hear my actual voice more.
Mm.
You know, this last, as much as I love my sophomore project and it really, really depicts what I was going through at the time, I think there was this feeling of kind of mm, this feeling of have like this glaze over everything that made it feel a bit robotic, and it was a part of the concept, but I think now I'm on a very opposite tip, which is like I almost want to just like crack on
Yeah.
the songs. I want to like you said, be off tempo for a second, do a song without a click, with a just things like this that feel very right but wrong.
Yeah. I mean, when you listen to classic songs, of course, they didn't have a choice. You've got so much studio time and we're running real tape here and it costs a lot of money, but like some of the greatest moments, like when you said crack, I immediately thought of the Rolling Stones song Gimme Shelter because Mary
Mhm.
Clayton's in the background as a background singer and she goes for that really high thing. Her voice is shreds,
Yeah, yeah.
and any other time nowadays, you'd probably fix that and thank goodness they didn't, something
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah,
It's,
but I think that's what it is. And again, not to really everything back to this film, but that's what the film is about. It's about showing your imperfections. And I think we all really want to see each other's ugly sides, whether we realize it or not.
yeah. Yeah. So you get to do that. You get to, which by the way, and I do want to properly, I know I've already said like Trench is a great record too, because even thinking about some of these songs like Dance, Dance, Dance and Pajamas and I love what you did with mine because I was a teen of the 90s and interpolating Brandy and Monica there, which aren't they on tour? Like what timing for that, by the way? That's the two of them playing together again.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's
We're definitely living in a simulation.
Everything's just lining up in a weird way. That's right. Do you believe in simulation? It's fun to joke about.
I do, honestly. I just think it's all so weird. I don't know. I think life is a mystery. I think it's really weird what we're doing here. Sometimes I look at my hands and I'm like, what is this? But yeah, I believe in simulation in some way, I believe in a lot of different things.
Sure. Sure. It's an interesting thing to roll around. And there are a few. Yeah, to get
Yeah.
out there. But a hard left turn on simulation theory.
It's always a good time to talk about simulation theory. I will say that.
Well, it still fits into what you're talking about too, with just, as you say, in the concept of where your head's at with this next album and how you approach the songwriting in that. And even thinking about your history, like what I've read about, like there's the one part where you went to the Clive Davis Institute at NYU. And so because in my head I'm like, what do they teach you? Are they teach you how to write a song? Like how do you learn to write a song? Like what do you get? And
Mhm.
how often does learning get then in the way of creation?
Hmm. It's a cool question. I actually only went to Clive for 1 year, but I can definitely speak on the year that I was there because genuinely I left school because I was like, this is just so expensive. I can't afford this anymore. But I do think it's a great program. I think what they're great at is really giving you tools, but also at the same time, kind of, I think they're really great at like melting off layers. I think a lot of art schools and music schools sometimes they try to, like you said, teach you something. And I don't think that's the point of art school. I think the point of any sort of like creative education is to like unlearn and melt layers off versus like become this thing you're supposed to become. So I like loved that program for that reason. I feel like they did a great job of just kind of like, well, what if you took this layer off and this layer off, and I personally really loved my time there. I think they're doing such a great job.
Tools for the tool belt. It's what
Yeah,
if you use it right?
exactly.
Yeah, what you get to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just high quality tools, you don't need that many. You just need like a few good ones.
a very expensive 1 year built tool.
Yes, exactly. Very expensive. I will say that's a whole nother thing. School in this country is way too expensive. It's such a scam.
My son is about to go to college.
God bless your
Maybe,
soul. God
maybe because that's the
bless
thing.
your soul.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, what do you? Uh, I'm not a product of college. I got very lucky. I was obsessed with radio, and I've been in radio now for a very long time. and but so it's easy for me to say not everybody needs college. You
Yeah, no, not everyone needs college. I never ever like when I see these kids, I almost want to just be like, you know, you don't have to stay in school. Like
but you can't tell them that, right?
if it's your journey, it's your journey. I mean, I guess, they deserve the truth.
Yeah. Listen, I've told him I support him in every decision. If he wants to go, we'll figure it out. And if he doesn't, then we'll figure that out, So it's uh,
Uh,
the
and
journey.
shout out to the parents putting their kids through school, man. You guys are incredible.
Mm,
So much.
yeah, it's a thing. So somewhat similarly, though, I mean, you're an independent artist right now, right?
I Yeah.
Okay, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a dangerous question at
I
this
would say a
point.
lot of things are changing in my life. But yeah, a lot of things are changing.
I'm not
So
surprised
it's
in
a very
that now that,
transitory state of my life.
yeah, listen, I'm not surprised. Given the success of all this, why wouldn't that be a complicated answer for you to do?
Yeah, no, I think it's crazy because I really was planning on being, independent for a very long time. And I think now that this so much has changed around me, it's really forced me to kind of ask myself the question of like, okay, if the world is your oyster, like what is your ideal situation?
Mhm.
Um, and that's been such a blessing to even be able to ask that question to myself.
To even be able to come into any conversation with some version of control that
Yeah.
not every artist has. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that made me feel really, you saying that made me feel really emotional because I just feel really, really grateful, honestly. I totally understand that like this is really on some miraculous lightning strike. Granted, I've been working really hard since I was really young,
Mm,
but I do think that just the way everything's coming together, I'm just really feeling so blessed.
yeah. And to piggyback off of what you were saying about Trench in the early days, about the duality, the concept of duality. And now here you have this thing happening in your solo life. And Huntrix is a real thing. I mean, it's not just a movie.
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing, right? Like you guys play live.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I never thought I would be in a girl group ever. I'm like the least girl groupy person I've ever met. And somehow I find myself in this like all-time charting girl group. I'm like, okay, cool. Simulate back to simulation theory.
If
But
only you
yeah,
had one of the God codes from the old
yeah, right,
days, It's
right, right.
immortality. Go. Yeah. Well, seriously, all the congrats. I know you're getting it from everywhere right now, and it looks like it's so deserved. And the music that you have made is so much fun to listen to. So I'm really interested to hear where this next one comes along because I like all the things that you're saying right now.
Thank you so much. I really hope we can have another conversation when this next album comes out because this was really lovely.
Please reach out. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yes.
Right on.
Thank you.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.